What is up, guys? It is Joe. We're back. We're talking all about the Cats today, specifically K-State football in the transfer portal as they shore up the offensive line with a big-time addition. I'll talk about the player featured in the thumbnail here in just a sec, but before I do, quick reminder to subscribe. It's free. It takes about 5 seconds out of your day, and it's the best way to support the channel, so be sure and hit that subscribe button as it does help out immensely. But I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, dive right into the addition. Let's talk about our guy, Brandon Sneh. Now, I hope it's Sneh. It could be Sneh, and if I'm butchering the pronunciation, that's on me. I'm not a pronunciation guy, by trade, so I'm learning this process. But Brandon Sneh, a big-time dude, a literal big-time dude, coming to Kansas State in the transfer portal to shore up one of the tackle spots. My pick is he's out at left tackle. I think he's going to protect Avery Johnson's blind side in this case, but listen to this. The 6'7", 330-pound man, that is a big, big, big dog. For reference, 85-inch wingspan. Put this into perspective with your typical NFL OT. Now, there's guys like Orlando Brown that are 6'7", 330 and massive dudes. The typical size for an average NFL offensive tackle, you got about 6'5", 6'4.5", 310, 315 pounds, and then an 82-inch wingspan. The dude's already dwarfing those numbers massively. He is a huge dude. Last season at Wagner, didn't allow a single sack. Started his career at, I believe it was Fayetteville State. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, so Fayetteville State. He was a Fayetteville State Bronco alum. Transferred to Wagner, spent the season there at the FCS level, is now heading to Kansas State. For those of you wondering at home, this is a massive win. How massive is it? Let's talk to you about that. In the transfer portal, obviously coming out of high school, not a big-time recruit. Didn't have any stars. Was an unranked guy coming out of high school. After 2 seasons of college football at Fayetteville State and Wagner, turned himself into a 3-star prospect in the 247 Sports Index, a top 800 player. He's the 738th ranked player available in the portal, and the 65th ranked player at his position. Now, you think about that. That doesn't sound great off the top of the bat. Listen to the teams that were interested in this kid because there are some heavy players in the field. You got Colorado, who Deion Sanders is, the portal whisperer. That's his bread and butter. He turns guys, to superstars from the transfer portal. Obviously, it's been a small subject size, but Colorado, definitely a major player in the NIL game and the Deion Sanders impact game. Illinois, another team fresh off a 9-3 season, a big year, beat, I think, South Carolina in their bowl game, if I'm not mistaken. Then you get Houston. They're up and coming, but they are Houston. And then Cal, and then a ton of different dudes that were interested in him. Those were just his visit list. So there were some different programs that could have made that conversation that would have livened up the offer list. Probably didn't get the benefit of the doubt. K-State is one of the 5 that got to host on a visit. He cut the list a little bit short, but did check out Colorado, did check out Houston, a couple others. Comes to Kansas State. Voila. Beautiful, massive addition. Literally a massive addition as we shore up the offensive line. And for those of you wondering, I think a lot of people would say, well, how good is a guy from the FCS level? Folks, you saw that example exactly last season with Easton Kilty. Now he's going to be likely a top 5 round pick, to clarify. I think he's going to be taken in the first 5 rounds or so of the upcoming NFL draft. Guy is a stud, a surefire thing at left tackle. Easton Kilty, a stud at North Dakota. I was about to say Notre Dame. North Dakota comes to Kansas State, gives us that solid production. Carver Willis out the door on the way to Washington. Carver Willis out the door to Washington. K-State trying to figure out what to do at both offensive tackles. I know there's a lot of dogs behind him, and I'm not going to sit here and say that there isn't. Brandon Sneh, I think, is a day 1 starter at your left tackle spot. You could toss him at right tackle, but it's going to be a better use of his size at left tackle. Protect Avery Johnson's blind side. Don't have to worry about it. Give him a brick wall at left tackle over there alongside some studs in the O-line. Now, I do want to kind of give my own spin on this because I think there's a lot of conversation of, well, why isn't Gus Hawkins out here? Why isn't Andrew Langang in a spot? I think what we're going to end up seeing, I think it'll probably be left to right as follows. I have my eyes on a couple dudes in the transfer portal. That being said, I don't know what K-State's pursuing. I know that there's a couple of offensive linemen they are poking around on, but as it sits right now, if you added nobody else, I think left to right it reads like this. Brandon Sneh, left tackle. I think Amos Talalele, the left guard, a guard in the situation from USC, I think he cracks that rotation to left guard. You're going to stick with Sam Hecht at center. He was a stud last year. Had a bad game in the Iowa State game, but bounced back in a big way in the Rate Bowl. Right guard, I think you're still probably looking at, my theory is that you're still going to get Taylor Portier back for another year. It's no secret that the two have both applied, both Taylor Portier and Hadley Panzer applied for another year of eligibility to get their waivers. I don't think that Hadley Panzer is going to get one. I think a guy like Taylor Portier, who had back-to-back ACLs, I think he's going to be ripe for one. I think TP comes back at right guard. And then at right tackle, you're either looking at another guy in the transfer portal, or you're going to go with Andrew Langang, roll with him. I know they like John Pastore and a couple other guys, but I think Lanny starts out there out right tackle if you add nobody else. Super quick break. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, 63% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and feel free absolutely to ignore this and skip this, whatever the case is. But those of you that are watching right now and are unsubscribed, Be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button if you love Kansas State, if you appreciate the channel. It's a great way to support me as I continue to grow on this journey, and it's also incredible to bring more K-State fans in like yourself on a consistent basis to see more of my K-State content. Once again, if you're in that 63% or if you're in the alternative in the 37%, I love and appreciate you. Back to the Cats list across the 5 out of them, I'm satisfied with that. And my theory here, the offensive line doesn't have to be perfect, at least in the pass game. I think as an attack, like you saw an entirely different offense in the Rate Bowl. I hope that you agreed the same thing. I was just as upset at Connor Riley as a lot of people were. I think he got a lot of the brunt of it, but you have a stud back in DJ Giddens. You're going to trust him for 20-25 carries a game. I know there's times when it's repetitive where it looks like, hey, why are we running straight up the gut? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? The O-line was making holes early in the season and then started to struggle down the back half. The offense we saw in the Rate Bowl against Rutgers didn't require a stellar offensive line, and that's a non-ball nowhere take. Hear me out. Because they were going so east-west situation, you need good blockers on the perimeters. Obviously, you need good tackles, good guards, good centers, and it goes inside out. But if you're going to debut that same offense, which I pray we will, because think about the speed you have already. Jace Brown, you saw some of the misdirection stuff, some of the end-around stuff. I mean, dang, you saw Cephas take some carries. Dylan Edwards is one of the fastest dudes in college football. You saw what he can do when he's going east-west. This offensive line doesn't have to be perfect in the run game specifically. Pass game, they're going to be solid. They're going to be stout. They've got some studs in the rush game as well. I mean, I don't think there's going to be as much north-south run as there will be east-west stuff. But when you think about Avery, you think about Dylan Edwards, all this different speed in the backfield and at the wide receiver position, you're going to like some dudes to go east-west constantly. If the O-line can get some of those placeholder blocks, get out in space, then you have the big tight ends. You got a Lincoln Cure that could be a jumbo wideout. Every single tight end in that room showed an ability to block. In the Rate Bowl, you saw Jace Brown, you saw Jay Jack, everybody blocking downfield. Think about this year where you have 2 receivers coming in that are 6'3 or 6'4 in Jaron Bradley and Jerron Tibbs. Yeah, that's going to be a good offense, to say the least. Rushing east-west, we'll see what happens in the future. If they pick up anybody else in the transfer portal, my bet is they probably do poke around a little bit. And if the right guy emerges, they'll roll with it. But as of right now, I feel pretty dang good about this pickup. So don't let anybody tell you this isn't a great pickup. This is a massive recruiting win for Kansas State. Shout out to Coach Riley for this one, working his magic with another FCS guy. Coming to Kansas State, he's got 2 years of eligibility left and time to improve, folks. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. I just wanted to keep a short and sweet one talking about the O-line. And I will talk to you guys here very soon with another portal update as they come out. If not, I'll talk ball here in a couple of days. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Go Cats!